What's up, everyone? I hope everyone's having a blessed one. So, I want to talk about some things that are going to be extremely useful or helpful in it, and it's the importance of relationships and the maintenance of that. And to get there, I want to tell a story to help paint the picture of how this came full circle for me. And if you will, just follow along and put yourself in my position as I'm talking about this story. So years ago, I was on an airplane and we're heading to Country X. We'll just call it that. And as we're traveling, we're about 6 hours into this flight, and on this particular airplane we're on, we have vehicles on this plane. We also have generators. One of the generators had fuel in it and wasn't sealed properly. And so, 6 hours into this flight, I'm woken up. All the lights are on. There's a lot of ringing and dinging going on from the aircraft's alerts. Overhead, the oxygen mask had just come down from above head, and everyone is, immediately trying to put the oxygen mask on, on our own faces. And I kind of laugh or chuckle a little bit because the oxygen mask did not go on my face like it did in the movies. It really wasn't getting on there. It felt like it was too small and I wasn't getting any oxygen. I just were getting fumes in my lungs at this point. And so we know that we're getting ready to head down for an emergency landing. And as we're getting ready to head down for this emergency landing, I remember thinking, like, man, like if the pilot does not do this perfectly, essentially, because if he's too aggressive on this landing and a spark, hits, with that fuel on that plane, there's just no telling, if the entire thing is going to go up in flames. So we get down to the airfield and we land safely. And what I see is there are just hundreds of fire trucks and ambulances lined in a safe distance away from the aircraft. But you can definitely tell the expectation was that aircraft was going to blow up and there was going to be a mass casualty event. Thank God it didn't happen that way. But we land and we're exiting the aircraft expeditiously, as possible, if you will. And I remember that, we're all trying to grab each other and carry each other. We had some people that were unconscious that were just trying to help get off the aircraft at the time. I remember seeing the guys in the silver Kim suits with the hooded mask, trying to get on the plane as we're exiting off so they could subdue the hazard, if you will. And so I look back at that, and there are a few things that stood out, for me. One of those things that stood out for me distinctly is that we didn't grab our electronics. Everyone was grabbing somebody. And so if there's anything I can leave you all with, it's the idea that you can't underestimate someone's ability to pick you up when you feel like you can't carry yourself or when you're not able to carry yourself. And that's where it comes in handy to just make sure that we're doing our due diligence when it comes to our relationships, that we're managing our relationships in a way that's healthy. Because if we're tied to that person and that person is tied to the same purpose that we're tied to, then at some point in time, one of us may have to step in to help the other. And so I wanted to give that to you all. And the second thing that came to mind with that story is that light can set everything off at the wrong time. And so when I go back to thinking about when that pilot was landing and how critical it was that he wasn't too aggressive when he landed, I think about as we enter into a workspace or an environment, professional environment, or any kind of environment, we'll just say ecosystem to cover everything. We have to be careful about our movements and our words in that environment, because if we judge it wrong, we can set everything off in a negative way. And so those are two things I want to leave y'all with. Y'all have a blessed one, and I'll catch y'all later. I'm out.